Hi, and welcome to another video on my channel, Calmly Explaining Veganism. This isn't shot from the same place as my other videos you might notice. I am filming this from San Francisco in the United States, and I'm here for a trumpet audition. As I mentioned, I'm a trumpet player, and I'm auditioning for the San Francisco Symphony. I've already had my audition, and I'm sorry to say I didn't win the job. It's a very big position, so this is just part of the journey for me. But I thought that this being the case, it would be appropriate to talk about the wins and losses in veganism, and particularly with animal activism. And so I guess my first point that I want to make is that if you are vegan and you want to do any animal activism stuff, which is, I think, for many a natural inclination, got that out eventually, and so you go vegan, you say, great, I've finally discovered, what I thought that I already knew. I thought that I was being a good person, thought that I was eating really well, now I know. And then after a while you say, but I want to tell other people, I want to make it known to the world how good being vegan is, and how important it is that everyone considers it and really does make as much effort as they can to go vegan. But by being an activist in whatever way suits you, sometimes you come up against these challenges. Sometimes you get wins, and that's when you've spoken to someone, you felt you're really connected with them, they've said, I understand now, I'm not going to eat meat, I'm not going to eat dairy, I thought honey was okay, but when you explain it like that, I really don't want to eat honey. All these small little victories, they're examples of wins, and they're great, they're fantastic. But you also are most likely to come in contact with a lot of losses, where people say, don't talk to me about it, I don't want to know, stop. You get this one very often, stop forcing your beliefs on me, you think what you think, I'll think what I think, and why can't we all just be happy? And then you feel like you really haven't made the connection, you've gone to all this effort, it's probably someone you really care about, you've tried to explain, and they just kind of shut you down. So this is one of the losses that you experience by being a vegan and by advocating for the animals and for the environment, all these other things. So how does one deal with this? It takes a lot of strength to stand up for what you believe in and what you know is right. And then when someone comes and sometimes without much consideration at all kind of steps on what you're saying, how do you stand up for what you think, and how do you stay strong? And the first thing that I want to say to that is really just finding a community and a network of people is probably the best way of doing it. There's Facebook, a lot of people on Facebook really happy to add you if you're vegan and make a really good community of people. Go to things like meetups, meet new vegans. If you want to do any volunteering, then there's a lot of groups that are really great. And while that's very good for building the community of veganism, it can be really good for you personally, so that when you have this situation, if you need to, you've got a chance to vent, and it's not being vented at the person you're trying to persuade, it's being vented to other vegans who are also come into contact with the same situation. And so, Facebook's really good for that. Or if you, with a animal rights volunteering thing, you can chat to those people. They've been through the same thing. They can say, yeah, I know, I tried this the other week and this person said this. And you really get a sense of, okay, it's not just me, I haven't personally failed, other people come into contact with this as well, they're here to support me, and I'm not the only one that thinks this, there's other people that really agree with me. So this can really help with personal morale when you've been kind of stomped on, in a way, emotionally. One of the other things you can do is just watching a lot of documentaries and things like this, to give yourself a sense of, I know the facts, without meaning to be, self-righteous or anything like that. That's not the point, but it's really saying, I do know what's happening, this is completely normal, I believe really strongly this is not okay, most other people would as well if they saw what I saw, and that really reinvigorates you to go out and and chat to someone else and really try again. And at the same time, I say watch lots of, documentaries or videos that aren't necessarily about the worst case scenarios. Watch some things, about animal farms that are, sanctuaries, places where animals are happy, where they get to spend time with their families and get to spend their life being alive, all these good things, and you can see the animals are really happy there, and you know, not all animals have that luxury, but you can see, yes, animals are, you know, are really getting to, in some cases, getting to live a life that they deserve. And that can also reinvigorate you. That can say, I haven't made it through with this person that I've been chatting with, but, you know, these animals, for those that have made the connection, they're able to live. I can see it's worthwhile because, you know, more people, the more people that I talk to, the more people that I understand, the more animals that get to live like this. And you really say, I see how happy these animals are. I see the joy of their families, and that really makes it worthwhile. Worthwhile fighting for them, no matter, you know, how hard it is for me. If I need to not say anything for 2 days time, not speak to people, just to kind of rebuild my own personal self-esteem, and that's very understandable. But as soon as you can, get back in there, try and chat to more people about veganism, and, you know, try and get more people to make the connection, seeing the benefits that come from it, by watching all the happy animals. And that's sometimes much nicer than watching the terrible things that do happen to a lot of animals. I suppose, yeah, that's a good amount. I don't want to speak for too long. I've noticed my videos been getting longer and longer as they go. But I just wanted to say, there are wins. There are times when, you know, some people say to me, I spoke to this person, they said, you know, they'd seen my videos on Facebook or whatever, and they really changed me. I think, you know, I'm going to make a change. I know that I can't eat meat anymore or drink dairy. I see why it's important. Those are the wins. But you're also going to come up against people that say, don't talk to me about it, I don't want to know. But at the end of the day, it's totally worth it. You've got to fight as many battles as you can, make as many conversations as you can. Just a last final word, I spent a while, maybe about a year or two ago, reading a lot of books on money, and an interesting concept came to me by reading these, that sometimes the most money that you ever lose is the money that you never made in the first place. And that's kind of the way I view being an advocate for the animals. The most discussions that you lose are the opportunities that were never made, you know. You can start a conversation with someone, it can go positively or negatively, but if you never started at all, then there's no chance for change. Unless people are open enough that they see your actions yourself, if you don't make the conversations to begin with, then that's a missed opportunities for the animals. And so, you know, have the personal strength, get in touch with other people that can help you, you know, find your voice, and just, you know, always remember that these are good people. They're probably people you care very much about, and yes, they haven't seen the world through your eyes yet. That was me a couple of years ago, that was possibly you now or a couple of years ago. Don't hold it against them as people, but help them to see the world as we see it, and just understand that, you know, by yelling at them, maybe that'll help them. You know, probably not. By not mentioning it, that won't help them, but it might, you know, help your relationship with them. But the thing that will, you know, very much help them is by having conversations in a caring, understanding way, never trying to put them down, even if they're putting you down, but try and be, you know, really compassionate to the fact that they're just seeing the world through the standard, unfortunately, what is the standard view of the world. And you're just trying to help them and, you know, get them to see the world as you see it, as a peaceful place where we don't harm animals that don't want to be harmed. And yeah, finally, I think I said finally about 5 minutes ago, finally, just really try and find your voice, whether it's doing videos like I am, whether it's by posting on Facebook, whether it's by chatting to people, whether it's by your actions and actually going out of your way to say, is there a vegan option? And that way people at restaurants say, oh, people are looking for vegan options, maybe I need to make some. Whatever you feel comfortable with, and then whatever you feel that you can, you know, do and feel uncomfortable with, but you can still do it. Try and do all those things, and remember, we're doing it for the animals, we're doing it for the environment, we're doing it hopefully in the long term for world, you know, hunger. Redirect the food to the people instead of the animals. All these things. Anyway, that's today's little conversation on calmly explaining veganism. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like, and yeah, I'll see you in another video very soon. Thank you.